Hey everybody, probably one of the most important videos you will see this year, maybe last year too. Anyway, this is kind of putting all my kind of crypto learnings from last year and showing you results of not only the importance of crypto selection, but also portfolio allocation with a year of data to look at. So this is going to be exciting. It's going to be short, second video today, but I just have so much to share with you all. I just can't help myself. There's not enough days in the year. So let's go. Let's jump in and talk about exactly what is going on and where we are. So let me just make sure that it's live. Yes, it is. Excellent. And a big thank you for the stickers. Thank you to the moderators out there keeping us all safe, free from disrespect and scammers. Love you all. So let's go. Should I buy series? Something I started a year ago. Started kind of more casually and got a lot more structured as I went through the process. And channels about math, money, freedom. This is a lot of results from the last year analyzed and categorized. And yeah, it's edutainment. So first of all, the question I had for myself, and I hold myself to a very tight standard. I wouldn't want to mislead anybody ever. And the $1 million question is, does our token valuation process work? Number one. And let's look at the results from 22 different valuations. You guys remember my series, the Should I Buy? It started off casual at the beginning and then became a Should I Buy? Real simple. Looked at a whole bunch of names. And the names, I did 22 of them. Each one requires an awful lot of work, awful lot of lift. And I do an average 2 a month, approximately. And I do them based on you guys, the Invest Answers community. These are the ones that upvote the actual ones we look at. Also, a lot of the, the old expression, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I get pinged a lot by audiences in YouTube as well. And that brought about this selection. So a lot of interesting names, very popular names, very hyped names by other YouTubers. And I went through them all. So some of my results as well were extremely controversial. The honorable mentions will go unmentioned. I don't want to ruffle any feathers here, but literally I put videos out where I had network people that I used to work with 20 years ago come out of the woodwork begging me to take videos down, criticizing me, saying I'm full of poop and all sorts of things. But you know what? I said, it's just the opinion of a crazy guy on the internet. What do I know? Leave them up anyway. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of controversy, stir up some conversations. So here we are. 22 names, 12 buys. They include the following: Ethereum, Polkadot, Solana, Algorand, Link, Matic, Uniswap, Aave, Avalanche, Engine, Phantom, and Luna. These are all the decisions. Now, what's also very important to note here is I listed, just for simplicity, the date of the token as of the date I released the video and the time, the exact time. And then I compare that to the date today. Now, this doesn't mean much, but it's just for simplicity. I want to show you the time that the world knows about my opinion on a token. And if they were to take activity, of course, I don't give investment advice, but if they were to use that research in their own research to make a decision, that's well and good. But many of the names I got into well before I did the videos. Sometimes I test the water. Some I even got into after because they fell to a certain price level that made them attractive. So that's the important note, is the price of the token at the time of the video that I said yes or no, and the delta today. That's how this analysis works. Now, the 10 that were not attractive, I'll call them out. Now, this doesn't mean they're bad. I've got to be very careful with my language here, very guarded. Remember, investing is a personal choice. I make my own personal choices. You make your own personal choices. But I go for the lowest risk. My training is financial risk management. I avoid risk first. And then I go for the highest reward. So remember, for me, low risk, high reward, in that order. Some people out there may just want to get their 1,000x returns. So they go all for reward and not care about risk. But we'll see if that's a good ploy or not. So here are the 10 names that I didn't like when I compared them: Cardano, VeChain, HBAR, Zilliqa, The Graph, Atom, Cosmos, Nano, FTT, Theta, and Cadena. The Cadena video was done only 60 days ago, believe it or not. We'll talk more about those as well. Now, the other thing that's very, very important. Sometimes every single asset has an entry and an exit price. So for example, some assets fell into the buy zone, fell into my shopping basket. Others collapsed into my shopping basket almost. Like I remember Thorchain, which is Rune, at $3.01. I had a limit order out. I missed it by 1 penny. It fell down to $3.02. Missed it by a penny, but I would have bought. I'm not going to buy it at $9, but at $3, yes, I will. So remember that as well. Every asset has its entry and exit price. Now, the other thing is when I look at additional buys, so I moved into assets on June 22nd when I did my retire on crypto portfolio. So I layered and hard into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Aave, Solana, Uniswap, Polkadot, Cardano, Polygon, Algorand. Names that I added to as well, just to show you how I do it. And then this portfolio evolved every single week and month after that as well. So that is where we are so far. Now let's jump in and look at the 4 assumptions for this model. And the lesson here, what I'm trying to do is run some simulations. I thought it'd be interesting to see 4 different sets of assumptions and help you guys learn. And the trigger for this video is I got a message from a friend over the weekend and they said, dude, help me. My portfolio is down 40%. What do I do? So it's like, okay, how did that happen? Because I kind of know some of the things you're in, but how did that happen? So it happens because of allocation and choice. That's it. Just those 2 things. Okay. Now, the 4 assumptions I have for this video is imagine we put $10,000 into every asset. So that'd be 22 assets, $220,000 invested. The second thing is $10,000 into the winner's circle. My 12 favorites, $120,000 investment. Third is $10,000 into the unchosen ones, let's call them for politeness. That's $100,000 invested. Where does that end up? And the final choice is $220,000 invested in the top 3, i.e. a third each. And that's kind of the way I roll. Heavy conviction, fewer assets. So that's what I want you all to learn. Okay, first of all, the results from the first one is $10,000 in every asset, 22 assets. We pump 220K into crypto at the time of each video. What happened? So you can see here, this 220K would become 328K in an average period of about 22 weeks. And the average return on the mixed bag of winners and losers was 49%, which is not too bad. Remember, we were halfway through the bull market when most of these videos are made, or sometimes even more so. So that's the first result. So not bad. Winners and losers, just buying 22 assets. What happens if we just put 10,000 into the 12 ones that I felt were the best investable assets at the time? The return on investment is 99.34%. Basically, 120K becomes 239,000. The portfolio doubles. And you can see some of the results there. The big standout ones are, of course, Ethereum did well. But remember, most of Ethereum gains happen at the beginning of the year. I did a video with Ethereum at 540 on Christmas Day, right before the year began. And by Feb 25th, it had nearly tripled. So it's important to take that into account. Same thing with Solana. That did very well. And Avalanche did very well. So they're kind of the big 3 standouts. So again, 120K doubles in about 6 months, which isn't bad. Now, and that doesn't assume any dollar cost averaging, any high conviction layering. It's just an even spread, 10K spread across the board. So what happens if we just put 10,000 into what I deem to be the non-winner circle? Again, very careful with my language here, but before I jump in, this is what I want you guys to get, and gals out there. 3 amazing lessons here that I've learned over a long period of time. And one lesson as well is back from 1999. I remember so many people held stocks after going all the way up, going all the way down. And they waited sometimes 4, 5, 6 years for them to rebound to their original levels. And guess what? 90% of them never made it back. So again, the question is, should you hold? So the 3 lessons that I really want to highlight here, though, is number 1, I'll pop this up. You'll see Cosmos, huge return, one that I did not like. As I always say, you cannot catch them all. But I didn't quite appreciate the value of Luna and the impact on Cosmos at the time. I wasn't aware of the power of the SDK and a whole bunch of other matters. So that's an element there, but you can't catch them all. The second big lesson from this here is one good token out of 10 can save you from devastating results. So if you did not have Atom in this list of 10, you would have lost over 40% across the board. Remember, things like Cadena is down 66% in 8 weeks. Okay, you've got VeChain down 70% since the video. And of course, there was so many reasons why I didn't like that one, etc. So that's how you need to look at this. And the third lesson from this is DCAing does not save you from poor investments. So layering into stuff, yeah, it might reduce your cost basis, but sometimes things will just remain poor over time. So remember, you can DCA into winners. Be careful DCAing into losers unless you still have very high conviction in that asset. And remember, if you were to buy, I think I did the Cadena video at $24.30. Again, I was ripped apart for doing it. It's lost 2/3 of its value in 8 weeks. I know the market's been weak, but that was quite stunning. Anyhow, the point is, it's got a 3x to get back to break even if you bought at $24. So remember that. Now, what happens if we just, this is the fourth scenario, everybody. What happens if we just pick 3 names, high conviction names, and we split 220K into those top 3? This is kind of stunning. That 220K becomes nearly $800,000. You get nearly 4x's. You get a 258% return on investment. And that is the key here, everybody. Now, of those 3 names, Solana, Avalanche, Cosmos, I had 2 of the 3. I did sell out of my Avalanche at 50, rolled into Solana a long time ago. And that's where we are now. Avalanche, I think, is about $80. So it's gone up, was a lot higher. Solana was a lot higher. Everything was a lot higher. But this is just the study at this point in time. And remember, my investment philosophy is less is more. Okay? So let's jump into some conclusions now. And I hope you guys really appreciate this, because this is the most valuable series of lessons you can learn and apply to your own portfolios, of course, in a non-financial way. So part 1, most of these videos, as I mentioned, were over the last 12 months, many of them in the middle of the year, which was halfway through the bull market. For example, I made Luna a couple of days ago. And you can't expect tripling when you miss over half of the gains in the market. And that's very, very important to learn. And remember, January was bombastic. So in a year when crypto market tripled, if you miss half of the gains, or if you miss January, February, or the first quarter, it's not good. You miss a lot. So timing is everything. So that's really important in part 1. Part 2, as I've always said, this is proof that owning a lot of big names brings down your average results. Being very focused on what you buy is very important. So owning 22 names makes you 48%. Buying all the IA selections, double your money. Buying all the no's, you lose 11%. Going in all top 3, you made 258% return on investment, or nearly 4xing your money. So that's part 2. And part 3, again, to reiterate, less is more. Go hard on high conviction names, avoid weak names, and one good name can save your entire bag. For example, Cosmos. So can't catch them all, as I always say. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Appreciate the likes, getting the word out, helping people. As I said, 2022 is going to be a year where the wheat separates from the chaff. You got to be in the right names. Make the effort to choose the right assets. So I will say smash the likes, because we need to get this word out. Big thank you all. Thank you to Caligula and everybody in the comments as well. And see you all tomorrow for TA Tuesday. Bye.